Welcome back to Drive Time. I'm your girl, just Jade.
And I'm your girl, Dani, and we're joined by...
Sophie Wall. I hate saying my own name, you know?
Isn't it?
I mean, it's kind of cute. You are locked into Drive Time on Pi Radio, and before the break, we was talking about dreams, lucid dreams.
Walking in your sleep, scratching the walls.
And Dani was then talking about something about sleep paralysis. Now, I've got a story for that.
Yeah, go on.
I'm pretty sure it was sleep paralysis.
Right, because apparently you only get it when you're, like, anxious or worried about something.
Well, I think it's come from a trauma because... I think I was 16 at the time. I went to, it was like for this Valentine's date when I was dating boys when I was a kid when I didn't know. We went on a date to Nando's on Valentine's Day. He took me to Nando's, good one. We went to the cinema and he pestered me to watch Woman in Black, and I don't do horror films.
Right.
I
love horror films.
No, I'm not horror. No, I'm too much of a kitty cat to, no.
Kitty cat.
Yeah. No. So... honestly, it was so scary, and we watched it. It was horror. I was sat on the end because he wouldn't even sit at the end, you know, where the stairs is, and it was all dark. I was petrified. I was like, "Can we swap seats?" And he was like, "No."
Right, never boyfriend material then.
No, it didn't last. But yeah, so we watched that. I got home. I was absolutely petrified. Got home, went to go to sleep. For the next week, I swear I had sleep paralysis because that woman, if you've ever watched that Woman in Black film, her face, because she comes on at the end and everything, I was so scared. I thought I could feel her breathing. So like,
really?
Yeah, and I had my lights off and everything.
Yeah.
I was living at my mum's at that time, so I shared a room with my twin. She wasn't even there. I don't know where she was. She must have stayed out. I was in that room by myself. In the dark, I was sweating, and you know, like when you feel like someone's in front of your face, that's what I felt. I like lifted the cover up like over my head and like stayed there underneath my bed. I was absolutely sweating, couldn't breathe, but I could not come like out of the cover because I thought she was going to be there, and like I had solid nightmares.
How old was you?
For a week after that, I was 16 years old. I was kind of grown, but still.
You know, you're big age.
It was almost 10 years ago. This was almost 10 years ago.
Yeah, cool.
Wait, you know what? It might have been a bit of a coincidence you were watching Woman in Black, because it was probably that triggered it.
Yeah, it
but
was.
You know,
100%.
Everyone that has sleep paralysis says they see, can't remember what it's called, but like the Dark Man or something, and he's basically this guy, like a Grim Reaper type person, and everyone sees it when they go into sleep paralysis. So it might have been that you thought you were seeing.
Oh my god, stop, you're gonna give it me tonight.
Yeah.
Like all this talk of like dreams and stuff, I'm gonna have the maddest dreams tonight for the next week.
You're gonna be trapped in a castle. You're gonna be seeing the Woman in Black.
Honestly.
While my teeth are falling out.
Oh, why are your teeth falling?
With no shoes
Cooking
on.
eggs in asleep.
Have you had any weird experiences like that?
Right, the only thing, and because I've only had it once, I'm not sure if it was sleep paralysis, but basically this was like, I must have been about 18 at the time, and I was going to Bali, but I was getting the flight there on my own, and it was like a 24-hour flight, and I was obviously nervous about it, and I fell asleep on the couch, and I woke up, oh my god, it actually makes me like...
So is this the night before then?
Yeah, this was literally the night I was going to wake up and get on this flight on my own. Right, I woke up and I was literally could not move my body. I was like this, and I felt like I was having a heart attack. Like I was literally like this, but I couldn't move. Like I was literally just like this, and I couldn't move my body, and I was trying everything. But it was just a coincidence that literally 2 weeks before, one of my friends was saying how she has it regularly. Yeah, she gets it regularly from just like anxiety and stuff. So in my mind, I was like, it's just sleep paralysis, and then after a bit of time it went away. Apparently it only lasts like 20 seconds, but it literally felt like 20 minutes.
Wow. I mean, 24 hours going to Bali on your own, that's a long flight, isn't it?
After that, never again, so I don't know if it was that.
Sophie, have you had any weird sleep paralysis moments like that?
Do you know what I've not, like, I feel there's obviously a part of your brain when you wake up that it makes you forget about your dreams.
Really?
So it basically is that when you go to sleep, you obviously fall into this thing where your memory turns off, and then when you wake up in the morning, if your memory takes a longer time for you to remember your dreams, like you might wake up from your dream sometime and think, oh, that was my dream, and then 10 minutes later you're like, what was my dream? Like I was meant to tell people about that.
Way. I didn't know
So
that
basically I had a dream literally like the other day, and then I was thinking about something, and if you go past or see things things that day that trigger your dream that you've had. So say for example I was to dream about DJ decks, but then I go a day without seeing what DJ decks, and then I see some, I'm like, I had a dream about that last night. Like you can't remember it unless something triggers you and you see it. Do you know what I mean? And then sometimes you do remember it, but no, I've never really had any like mad dreams.
You will know.
Like, I don't really remember them, you know. Like, I'll wake up in the morning and think, wow, I've been asleep for like 8 hours and I don't even where have I been? Like, I literally just had like a peaceful dream.
That's mad. I always remember my dreams. I'll wake up and I'll be like, oh babe, I had this dream, it was really weird, and then I'll tell her. I'm like, but my dreams, they're formed from like what I've either done that day, watched that day, listened to that day, who I spoke to, what I spoke about, and then it all mixes in my brain in some weird dreams. And Janika's always like, yeah, that's because you were talking about that or you watched that. And I'm like, yeah, like you actually are right.
So they say that your dreams are a massive mixture of what has gone on that day. Like
your mind's just processing everything
like it's basically a collection of photos that have gone on that day, made into its own little story. It's weird.
Our brains are actually mad. Like the fact that we only access like 6% of it or something.
I know. And it's like, I always think like the amount of experiences you go through in life, it's like you must have like a sorting memory of stuff, for that if like a situation comes up like we're speaking about right now, you'll think, oh my god, I've had an experience of that, whereas you would probably not think about that memory if someone was to just ask you what memory it were.
Or you know what always gets me is when you smell like a perfume or a smell and you're like, oh my god, that reminds me of this that I completely forgot about.
So do you know what people do actually? People spray perfume, like a certain perfume that they've never smelled before, like buy perfume and revise for an exam and then spray that same perfume when they go in for their exam, because what it does is it gives out a sensory recognition and it makes you remember stuff.
That's sick. We've had a science lesson on Wavy Wednesday. So anyone doing
so much
exams, I know some people will be going through uni exams, school exams, spray your perfume. And so this links perfectly into the song that reminds me of summer. It is a great song and it's Route 49's featuring Jess Glynne's My Love. Do you remember that song?
Is this a song?
This is the song.
My Love.
Yes.
Oh my god. Isn't this such a festival tune?
It's been out for years, this song.
Yeah.
It's so good.
It just gives me such good vibes, and like it just reminds me of a time in summer where, you know, you're just living it up, having no worries.
Let's talk about festivals afterwards, guys, because I'm getting warm and excited.
We're going to talk a little bit about the Park Life
lineup came up, whether we think it's good or bad. I've heard mixed reviews.
So let's get into it. What's up?
What's up, people?
We are back. The time is now 3 minutes to 6.
Oh, God, it's gone so fast.
I know. You have been locked in with Wavy Wednesdays here on Pi Radio. My name is Jade.
And I'm Dani.
We're here every week.
But today we got a special guest.
We
if you
do.
are just tuning in, we've also got Sophie Wall from the Monday show.
Thanks for saying it for me. Honestly, I'm glad you did. I hate saying my own name. It's Sophie Wall.
Sophie Wall, people. You know what? I hate saying my whole Daniela. Like it's too much.
I love that name. It's cute.
What's wrong with Daniela? It's cute.
Dani, let's get straight to the point.
Yeah.
So guys, I just want to bring it up. I don't want to dampen the mood, but obviously the Sarah Everard thing that happened several weeks ago, we've got more developments coming out, so I really wanted to speak to you guys about it.
Okay.
Obviously, it's brought up a whole conversation about women's safety and just our basic right to walk around and just feel safe. What experiences, have you guys got any standout experiences where you felt particularly unsafe, like on a night out or even in the day or anything like that? I'm curious to know your stories. And do you have any advice on how our listeners can protect themselves and be more safe?
Okay, I don't have a story that springs to mind right now, but I'm sure there has been a lot of times where, when I was at school, for example, at high school, it used to take me about half an hour to walk from my high school back home. And one day, because me and Amy, as you know, I've got a twin, we used to walk to school together, walk home together. It was really cute. She wasn't, I think I was in year 8 at the time. She wasn't in for that day because she probably took it off because she was pretending to be sick. So yeah, I went to school by myself, was walking home, and there was a car following me. It was blatantly following behind. I could see him, I don't know what car it was. Yeah, and he was going really slow. if you know, like, there's on Eaton Hill Road, there's like basically like this little road, and yeah, so I had to like ring my nan and was like, oh, because my mum was at work or something, and I could only get hold of my nan at that time. Rang her, and then she just like came to meet me at like the top of the road because that was that.
That is always my go-to, ring someone.
Yeah, I mean, do you know what? I feel like everybody's felt unsafe at like one point in their life. Like, I remember a brief story. Like, I'm just gonna tell this brief story. There was this time when I just started uni and I was living in the centre of Manchester. And I'd gone out with my friends. We all went to like this pre-drinks we went to this house for pre-drinks. Gone to the club and I didn't get in. Like, they were just being so rude. Like, they literally let all of my friends in, and I was literally round the corner tying my shoelaces. I came running, I was like, oh my god, and they were like, no, sorry, can't let you in. And I was like, right, okay, whatever, that's done with. So I was like, do you know what, I can't really afford an Uber home because my student loan hadn't dropped, I didn't have a job. I was like, let's walk, let's do it. So
get those steps and go.
And it weren't that there was a particular car or there was particular anything, but I just remember like that walk home, and there was like men on nights out, and they were all like, ooh, yeah, like
the dead they can be rowdy, innit?
They were rowdy. There was people driving past with like in like Mercs, defo rented, like winding the windows down, being like, oh hey, like what you saying? Come and get in the car.
Do you want to lift up? Oh my gosh.
What's your Instagram? And it was just like,
if you're intoxicated as well, I feel like that can be scary.
I know, and I feel like sometimes like that was just a whirlwind of kind of, it was just like a brush of just everyone on the way home. And by the time I got home, I was literally exhausted from like being like, shut up, like
stop shouting at me, no one look at me, I just want to
stare at the floor.
And it's like, I think that's what it is, like
we just want to be left in peace.
That I would give to people kind of, you know, struggling with kind of safety and stuff like that is just to get somebody to come pick you up, or get
it's
that
worth
Uber
it
home.
Uber it's worth it
the Uber, or definitely like call whoever you think is the nearest person at that time, whether they can come and meet you, or you know, you're just on the phone and you're running
and then advice them people with cars to the friends who don't, like, you know, even if it is like 1 or 2 in the morning, if that's going to save that person from that safety, then you should definitely give them a lift home. Just
also don't leave a girl on their own as well. You just don't know in this crazy world. Also, something I used to do, which is so bad and I still do, is like when I used to walk home from the library literally like 2 in the morning. This was like final year vibes, and it would be like pitch black in the morning, and I'd walk home with my earphones in, blasting music, because I'd be so scared, or just like wanting to distract myself. It's the worst thing you can do, though. You got to be dead aware of your
you need to be vigilant of who's around you, what's around you, what's going on, because things happen last minute. You know, someone could be, obviously I'm not trying to manifest it into resistance, but you know, some people aren't too good when they're driving. Do you know what I mean?
Nah, they are. That's so true. You gotta be aware of your surroundings and what's going on.
So what are the developments on this?
Basically they had that suspect, the guy, the police officer, and I was saying to my mum, me and my mum love crime, so we've been like investigating like true crime.
I think it's disgusting it is a police officer.
Yeah, well basically I said to my mum, like, they better be sure, because they're really can't just flaunting his name in the media. Anyway, it turns out, you know, like dash cams on cars. Yeah,
they're really great.
Yeah, my dad got me one for Christmas because I just got a new car, and so it was like ironic that this has happened. But basically, there was someone caught on their dash cam a video of him dumping the body in Kent. Yeah.
Wow.
So basically, if it wasn't for him doing that, and the person recognised him as well.
Well, you know
so
what I mean?
If it wasn't for that, they would have no suspects.
I was having a conversation with my girlfriend about it, and about it, you know, it being the fact that obviously, he's a police officer, but obviously not all police officers are like this, and it's not like, let's not make it about us versus it's not us versus the police, it's not men versus women, it's a human thing. Like, it's, you know, some women do unspeakable they have done unspeakable things to men. But I
always find this, especially in times of distress, and I saw it so much in 2020, when things are kind of uncertain or scary, it becomes like us versus them. Like, we find a common enemy.
Do you know what I think it is? It's a tying everybody with the same brush. So it's like, you know, just because one person does something bad doesn't mean that you have to stereotype every single person of that profession, or of that race, or of that gender, to particularly say, well, you're all like that, because that's not the case.
I mean, it's like people say about, well, how obviously it's happened here as well, but when people black profile and like just racial profile people, like doing that stuff, it's not okay. You shouldn't be doing that. You shouldn't be judging a person off, like you said, off what they look like or what religion they follow. Like, get to know them first.
And like, I think this is the most important part about kind of this generation, is that it's based on individuality. Like, there's so many little there's like tags that you put people under, so
like labels.
That's the one, labels, and I said tags instead.
Stop labeling us. Stop putting us in these boxes.
No, trust me,
don't like
completely.
it. I seen a TikTok actually of this this LGBT like advocate lady, that woman that I follow on Instagram called Tanya, and she did a TikTok and she was saying how like when you come on TikTok, you can't just be a regular lesbian. You have to be, are you a femme? Are you a stud? Are you a switch? And like, why can't we just love women without having to be labelled one of these, you know, like putting us in one of these boxes?
Yes.
I find it stressful sometimes, actually, like growing up and like finding out who you are. It's like, why do I feel like I have to be this person? Like, why do I have to be like the good girl, but also not want to like party, and like it's too complicated.
Like, don't put so much pressure on labeling yourself and having to adhere to a stereotype or, you know, a certain behavior. You just
but you know what, humans are actually kind of dumb. Like, we need to have things labeled and in boxes for us to understand that. And it's ridiculous.
So true.
But but we'll talk a little bit more after. We've got a little bit of Janae and Swali Sativa here on Pi Radio.
Lovely song.
Let's go. We are back. The time is now 8:26.
6:26.
8:26. Oh my! I do that all the time with the time. You know.
I always do that with whenever I see 17, I always think, oh, it's 7 o'clock.
Yeah, like it took me ages to learn how to tell the time on a clock as well. My granddad had to teach me.
Oh,
yeah,
he's a good granddad, isn't he?
That's cute.
Yeah, it took me ages to learn.
Anyway, guys, we are back. I'm your girl, Dani.
I'm your girl, just Jade.
And now we're going to talk about some really sad news in the pop culture world. Saweetie and Quavo have broken up.
Yeah, Saweetie and Quavo they've broken up. Let me just hold on. Do you want to get that at that mic? Just bear with us.
It's not working.
Okay. Oh, what's going on?
Yeah, Quavo and Saweetie have broken up.
Yeah. What does everyone? Is there a big? Have you guys got a relationship where you like a celebrity relationship where you like when they broke up, and that you were like, life's not real?
Do you know what, right? I feel like there is like mega obsessions with like relationships and stuff like that, but I've never really been interested in a lot of people's, like, it sounds so like, like pick me vibes, but I'm actually not interested in like other people's relationships.
No,
like,
I
it's
feel like
cute.
that's good. You need to focus on
Yeah, but it's not even like, I don't know what it is. I just feel like, I used to love that Beyonce and Jay-Z and Kanye and Kim and like Kylie and Travis Scott. I was really upset actually when they split
I saw
up.
it coming.
I did see it coming, but I just really liked them as a relationship. I thought they were pretty cool. But apart from that,
I'm a bit like you. I don't invest too much of my time talking about gossip and like, because like, do you know what I mean? The celebrities, people put them on such a high like pedestal,
but they're just like
they're
us.
they're just people like us. They're just, you know. And if someone was kind of, imagine if someone was like prying on your relationship and was like, oh yeah, she's broken up, and then making stories. Oh, she's done this, because
but you know what? The world of celebrity is just so false. Like, you know, like paparazzis and stuff. This is what I've been told. They don't really like hang around in dark corners anymore. You know, when they like they get shots of them. Oh, look who's been with who, or like whatever. It's all staged. Everything to me is so staged in the world of like pop culture.
It's like
I'm not even surprised at this point when people break up.
Yeah, no, I hear that. I feel like a lot of people as well, if you're in the limelight, like that can have such a strain on your relationship because so many people have opinions on what they've got to say. Like, imagine being in your relationship that you're in now, if you have like a boyfriend or a girlfriend or a partner or someone that you're speaking to, and then that's constantly under scrutiny. Like, it's even with like Kanye and Kim, like there was a picture of Kim crying in the car. It's like that's on the front page of every single newspaper, and then Kanye's like, well, what were you crying about in the car? Like, everybody's got an opinion on your relationship now. That's by choice because you're in that kind of industry where everybody does have an opinion on your relationship. I can imagine how much strain that can have, because I went on that show, for example, and you know, people had their opinions on Twitter about us but we'd opened ourselves to that kind of, we'd opened ourselves to that. We knew what we was getting into, so it was like, well, we're just gonna have to take the stick from it. And
how did you deal with that when people would have opinions on your relation? Did that ever manifest itself?
Do you know what? It didn't. Like, it was good because it didn't get like major. Like, I'm so glad that it never turned into a big show. Like, there was like there was talks about Netflix taking it, but I really do, like, when I watch that back now, I literally cringe. Yeah,
I can't wait to watch that.
I feel like that's your moment.
Like, nah, but trust me. So, like, we didn't really get like major backlash from it. We probably got about 500 tweets like throughout the whole show, written about us. It was trending on the first night, but most people had opinions on us as individuals rather than our relationship itself. And there were a few comments where, you know, about like what we look like or what we think is. And we'd spoke to a counsellor beforehand, and she basically just said, like, you're gonna get it, so the best thing to do is not look. And when it came out, what was the first thing I did? Look. I was like, hashtag undercover girlfriend Sophie. Hashtag, like, literally.
But how can you not look? I feel like that's such an impossible like piece of advice.
I know.
That's like telling, especially if someone tells me not to do something.
It's
I
like,
just go
don't
and do
eat
the
the cake.
opposite.
Like, I want to eat the cake.
I want to see.
Trust me. But
that's so interesting.
It was mad because this is based on individuality again, like not as us as a relationship, but like my boyfriend actually got put on a meme page.
Did he?
Oh, really?
Because there was talks about him like saying that he like looked like Jesse Lingard on the show. So this guy,
he does a little. I can see where they're going, but
yeah, exactly. So
really.
They tried pushing this story whilst we was out because that's what TV does. Like we literally said it as an off comment, and they were like, right, okay, we're gonna play on it.
They proper blow things up, don't they?
They made a whole episode about Ben looking like Jesse Lingard, and he literally just said it in an off comment. Like, it was actually rude. And yeah, like everyone was ripping into him, like 50,000 comments.
Someone's obviously got
rude.
too much time on their hands.
Honestly, it was hard. But yeah, back to the point. I mean,
going off on one.
You know how when people come out of Love Island, they always say things like, yeah, like you just forget the cameras were there and something will happen and they'll just like blow it way out. Did you feel like you didn't have much like control over what was happening in the storylines
and like how they would
did you forget
show
cameras
you,
were there?
So so what they do is they push a narrative on you and then they make you run with it. So basically, this is a prime example. In the first episode, this is why I don't like watching it back. In the first episode, I start crying.
Aww.
And I know, literally crying on national television, like not even like channel,
is it, how deep is it,
Freeview 276. It was like channel 5, like number 5 in the honestly, it was awful. But basically, what it were, long story short, they locked us in this room for 7 hours.
7 hours? What?
No joke. Like, literal 7 hours.
See, like 30 minutes of it.
Here we go, sneak preview. Here's Channel 5.
Behind the scenes.
Just it. And they locked us in this room for 7 hours. They wouldn't let us go out. Like, we weren't allowed to go for a wee. We weren't allowed to drink. Like, they were being really, really strict with us. And I was on, it was my menstrual cycle.
Yeah.
Really emotional. And I was dead excited to see, obviously, my boyfriend. So my boyfriend's come on the screen. I was really excited, blah, blah, blah. We've been in this room. I'm hot. It's stuffy. We're in a hot country. It was just, honestly, there was everything that you would want wrong going on in your life right now was going on at this moment. Yeah. And then basically they started asking us questions, like leading questions, like talk about this, like how would you feel if like your boyfriend was to cheat on you during this week that you was on holiday and so forth. Yeah. And then basically Ben came on the screen, made a rap and was like, I told my girlfriend I wouldn't cheat, but I can't guarantee. But the producers have been asking me questions as if like he'd said something, and then he went and turned around and said that. So I was just so overwhelmed. I wanted to go outside. I mean, I smoke, like we don't promote that on this show, but obviously I do. And I was like, oh my God, like I was like, I don't know what to do. Like I literally was just like, boom, I'm out. So I just literally started crying and walked out. But then the dramatized it. When I was looking at it back, I was like, oh, come on, it weren't that deep. It was like emotional music in the background. background. It was like, I'm going
Shut
outside.
up.
It was
What?
like, it was so dramatized.
Oh God,
and
the life
they
of
made
television.
that. I know, they made that like the focal point of the first episode.
When in actual fact, you'd been trapped in a room for like
But
that
was the reason.
Trapping you in a room, like,
No fresh
because
air.
obviously it would make them look bad.
Yeah.
If it was like, but obviously it's coming out now,
Yeah.
isn't it?
And then obviously a little short another thing as well, but on the last day, someone had not gone too well with that person.
Yeah.
Like when they gone and met the boyfriend again at the end.
Oh, did they
and she
hang with?
came back and obviously we spoke about it afterwards, but we was like, oh, are you okay? And she was like, no, actually I'm really annoyed. So anyway, when we came out, she turned around and was like, oh, it was because the producers were really annoying me and they was thinking in the car, but they made out like she was talking about her boyfriend.
Oh,
It was mad. It was
shit.
proper crazy. Honestly, they dramatise everything. It's mad.
Oh my God,
The
you
life
just
of
can't
TV.
believe what you see on telly.
No, you can't. Like, there was literally so many times where I thought, I don't even know why I'm doing this. Like, why have I done this? Like,
would you not
How long was
do
the whole thing?
anything again on
so
TV?
not as a cast member, no, not reality as well. Like, I feel like there's so much stigma behind reality.
There's so much
TV
manipulation
and
they can
stuff
do
like
behind
that.
the camera.
Yeah, or
where you
even
don't
just-
have control.
Yeah, like I wouldn't want to be like a cast member because you're taken advantage of. Like, you're the storyline, so they've got to create storylines for you and out of you. So they try and dramatize stuff or push on things like in my pod, which is like a little bit where you do like a voiceover over like you running or whatever like that. You know, they were talking to me about like how I felt about another couple and like really asking me like really forward questions and trying to push
Another
answers
couple
out of
in
me
the
that I
house
didn't
that
want
you
to.
were with?
Yeah, so like another couple in the
Yeah.
series. So it was mad. It was probably crazy, but yeah, I probably wouldn't do it again. You know, it's crazy.
How long were you there for?
So I was there for 11 days and the show was 5 episodes, which is like over, they make it out like it's over 5 days.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
you
yeah,
have
yeah.
like different days where you do like shooting
Yeah,
or
yeah,
like
yeah.
stills or other stuff. So yeah.
Ah, interesting.
But everything was like free. You know,
free, you
from-
got free holiday out of it at
Free
least.
holiday. That's the way
That's
that I
a-
look back on it. Yeah, literally. It was like we had an infinity pool. Like it was such
Ooh,
vibes.
yes.
It was such vibes.
Ah.
Like, and
you
I
made
clicked
good
with all the
friends,
girls as
yeah.
well. We made good friends. Like I look back at it now and I think, oh, I don't know about like doing it again. But when I look
Yeah.
back, I think, oh, it was amazing. It was.
Yeah. Oh, wow, that's so cool. And you've had practice in front of the camera now.
Yeah,
So when you're a
presenting.
presenter.
Hey, okay, so we'll talk a little bit more about that after this, and we will be talking about park life as well. We will get to that.
Park life.
Absolutely.
Give us 10 minutes. Right now, we are going to play Rick Ross featuring Drake, Gold Roses. Woo. It's one of my favourite songs. Like Rick Ross really does it for me.
Yes.
Like this, the like beat in this. That
I was nominated,
that is
never won a Grammy.
Yeah, it's just sick. It's sick.
Yes.
So let's go.
Let's go.